Hello everyone, I am Plankara, and today we're going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. Making steady progress on the hair here. Look, almost all the layers are back, even if they're all not quite in place, and parts of it still look a little bit funny. Been focusing hard right in here, and I'll worry about all the rest later. So today is my birthday, actually. I almost forgot. I probably would have forgotten if I didn't have people in my life to constantly remind me of these things. I don't have anything special planned because I've never personally considered my birthday that important. Like I said, I may not have even remembered if I didn't have people in my life that were very much interested in special days like that. So I'm just gonna do what I always do and do some art stuff, and then I don't know. I would take it easy. Probably have some cake later. All that kind of good stuff. But otherwise, I think it's just going to be a fairly normal day for me. And I kind of like to keep it that way. So let's get going in here. I'm gonna go poke at this strand a bit, just because when I was looking at it for a stream here, this was the area that seemed the most off to me. Not too surprising, considering it was the area that I kind of ended off on. So I'm just gonna go and take a look at this. The areas that I'm looking at right now are these highlights on the top, and the shadows right below them. If I can get those to stop squirming, that means that I probably have them in good spots, and that also means that everything else is probably going to be in a pretty good spot. It'll give me a good basis for everything else. I'm going to adjust some things around here. Strictly speaking, the details on these little highlights here, probably not that important. I don't think people will ever look at them in great detail. But I do think that they will give me a lot of information about where everything else goes. So I do consider it worth poking at just a little bit more. Oh yeah, one other thing that I was looking at that I kind of want to fix right now, now that I'm thinking about it, is this back here. This needs to floof out back more. Right now, it looks like her head is getting a little bit smaller. So I want to floof this out a bit. Might have overdone how much I pushed everything over, although I do think that this looks pretty alright. We'll see. It's entirely possible that this side is just a little bit too thick over here, or just the way the hair is working is a bit different. I don't know. I think that'll be something that I visit once I have both sides completely rigged, and then I can see how they compare to each other. Now that I'm feeling a little bit better about that, I kind of want to go back up here. Go back on those little highlights and just the general stuff in this area. I see this little highlight looks like it's being stretched quite a lot. So I kind of want to bring this back this way. It's a very strange conundrum where it feels like parts of it are being stretched this way and the others this way. Some parts up, some parts down. Very odd. I'm not sure I understand, but I'll just keep making some changes and see if I can make sense of it gradually. Yeah, that guy got way up there somehow. Okay, yeah, that's looking pretty close. It was quiet for a second there while I tried to really figure out what was going on. But I think I'm getting it. And I'll just gradually start putting things places. Notice some shifting upward there, so figured I'd... or shifting downward, rather. So I figured I'd try to get all that back up there. Probably just moved it a little bit too much while I was trying to figure out what was going on with that highlight. Not too surprising. I was also just thinking a little bit of some of the stuff I'm gonna do today. Like I said, I don't have anything special planned, but I do know that my dad wanted to treat me to a massage, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. All in all, there aren't too many things I want, and in general, while I understand the purpose of special days, I've never been particularly interested in them. Every day is a special day. Every day is a special day if you make it special. So, I generally believe that, at least for the people close to me, that I try to do stuff for them just all the time. I don't need a specific day to do things. It's also why I don't make New Year's resolutions. It's like, if I want to do something, then, let's do it now. Why wait? I'm way too impatient for this stuff. It's like, why wait when I can literally just do it right now? It's a great time. I've been trying to be more cognizant of some of this stuff as I got older. Like, when I was younger, I just did not care at all. But, now I acknowledge that there are people that care, and I try to respect that. So, I pay some amount of attention, at least. You know, like, tell my dad happy birthday on his birthday and that kind of thing. Whereas for my husband, when he's kind of the same as I am. So, a lot of the time I kind of have to think about when his birthday is. Because neither of us really care. It's like he's not bothered by this, but I think I've offended his mom a couple of times by not remembering. Dealing with other people can be hard. But it's kind of important to, if you care about them, to think about what they enjoy and what's important to them. And kind of act accordingly. I mean, I do think part of being a good friend, or I guess being in a positive relationship of any kind, is largely about compromising with the other person and understanding what they enjoy, what bothers them, and just acknowledging it because it's what they enjoy as well. Even if you think it's kind of silly. Alright, I think during all the birthday talk, I managed to get this highlight in a good spot. Let's go take another look at the highlights up here. How are they doing? I think they're mostly correct, actually. I think I'm pretty happy with how they are. Kinda want to make a couple of adjustments to the shadow. This red shadow in there. Yeah, I think this is getting really close. I'm definitely getting somewhere. Just gotta work out those last few details. And I think it'll be pretty good. I can go back in and start adding more layers. It's like I know I've been working on them a little bit at the end of every stream, but I keep having to hide them at the beginning of every stream. Because I kind of get in the way. But I think I'm getting closer and closer to the point where I'll just be able to leave them in forever. I'm so happy with how much more quickly this right head turn is going compared to the left head turn. The left one took a while. But now I feel like I understand a few more things, so I'm able to make it go a little bit faster. Little bit faster. That's what practice does for you. Just makes you a little bit faster. And all of those little speed increases really add up. It's like if you've ever played a video game with numerous 1% damage increases and you get a ton of them and suddenly you're one-shotting things. Feels good. Feels good. Right now I'm just trying to get the overall shape of the hair a little bit more correct here. But I think I've mostly gotten it. Like, I think the last little bits that don't line up perfectly are so minor that I won't even see them when I zoom out. Yeah, at least in that area that I was looking, I still see some stuff by this highlight here that I'll want to visit, but in the area that I was looking, I think I got it. So let's go visit those little areas around the highlight. Highlights are another good anchor point, so I like to try to get those right. Yeah, something like that. It's better. I'm not quite sure if it's entirely there. But I think... I don't know, I keep seeing stuff squirming over here, so I kind of want to take a look at stuff over here. I don't always go this far down when I'm this focused on the part, but... it's just bothering me. I keep seeing out of the corner of my eye. I gotta do something. Can't just let it sit like that. It's too sad. Way too sad. So let's just start getting some of that looking good. And get the right amount of floofiness right through here. See what happens. Don't really feel the need to go all the way down, but I kind of want to get this outer shape a little bit more correct. Because, like, this is one of the outer boundaries of the hair and the head. Okay. So it's kind of important that it be at least relatively correct. Let me straighten out some of these triangles too. There we go. Yeah, we're just all crooked. But considering I was done doing a bunch of big movement with the brush, that's kind of expected. No, I think I just made it worse. Okay. Pulled it a little bit too far out. Let's push it back. Yeah, that definitely made it worse. Okay, so now things are kind of shifting downward. I know I just said that a bunch of stuff happened because I used the brush, but we're gonna use the brush again. The brush is very useful. That's why I keep running into a lot of those things, because brush is just... It makes life so much easier, and I like it. I like it when my life gets to be easy. Who wants life to be hard? So let's see, the areas that I'm trying to fix mostly are here and here. I think once I have those areas good, that's when I'll move on to the next brand. But these two areas are kind of informing each other, because, you know, everything is relative. So I'm just trying to... how to say... really try to figure out exactly what is bothering me about these areas, and using both of them together to try to get everything where it needs to go. And right now there's enough... Well, I'm not sure if there's enough wrong, but I don't fully understand what's wrong, so I'm kind of going back and forth, hoping that as I get something looking a little better in one area, it'll help me figure out what's wrong in the other. It can be surprisingly tricky. This is where intense staring is useful, and why sometimes I get a little bit quiet, because, ooh, it's hard to talk and think at the same time. If I'm being honest, I'm mostly just looking for the area that looks most wrong, seeing how it's wrong, and then going through and poking at it, just whatever small things that just look off to me that I can see. Doesn't matter what it is. If I can see it, it's probably a problem. So I just do things one step at a time like that. Try not to get too overwhelmed by not completely understanding what's going on here. Right now I'm looking at the area around this highlight and this shadow. And I think once I can get those two areas working well together, that'll give me a lot of hints as to everything else. Sometimes it feels like when I move something around there, nowhere I put it is quite right. It's always a bit rough dealing with everything when that kind of thing is happening. It's not so bad when I make a change and something looks better. But right now I'm just making changes and I'm just like, I'm not actually sure if that helped. I don't know. Hello, autosave. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, I'm gonna go hide this for a second. See if I can get some clues without the texture of that hair bothering me. Okay, it does look like the lines are getting a little bit thin. I probably just need to thicken up this area a little bit. That's something that happens when I use the brush tool a lot too. Or sometimes I just push the vertices into each other, and then it makes the line a little bit thin. Well, it really doesn't seem like the line should be getting thin here. I don't know. How odd. Okay, so what do I see here? Let me select the hair, and now I'm going to turn it while looking at the vertices. Okay, so that is part of what I'm seeing. If you look here, so you can see these points where they meet together, and you can see that the triangles are starting to point a different direction. Whereas here, they were kind of pointing this way. And over here, now they're pointing this way, more downward. So if I shift them a little bit more upward, that might help a little. Maybe. Let's try it. No way to know until I try it. I do feel like it helped some areas, but not others. So let's see here. Let's do some intense staring and really figure out what's going on here. Some of them may not have needed to move as much as I moved them. That might be all that was. Okay. And another idea. Pull that out just a little bit more. Yeah, I think that helped a little, actually. I'm gonna have to pull it out over here, too, to match that. But for now, I want to just keep my focus more up here. Just because of the highlight here, I probably will have to work on things a little further down. Because I do want to get that highlight area right as well before I move on. It's like eventually I have to get the whole strand, so now I can just work on whatever I want, whenever I want. But I do think those highlights make for really useful anchors, so I like to try to get them. And make it easy to tell where other things should go because they're just such a distinct part of the hair. It becomes easier to place things once I know where those really solid anchor points belong. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, yeah, I think I'm getting somewhere now. Slowly but surely, all those little changes that I made throughout the entire process, even when I didn't quite know what was going on, they added up and eventually made a difference. When in doubt, do a lot of little things. Some progress, better than no progress. If you know it'll be even slightly better, just go do it. You can figure out the rest later. Sometimes the answer is just not clear until you've made progress in some other area. Or until something else happens and the idea comes to you. Ideas don't come from nowhere, you know. They all come from somewhere. And the best way to get new ideas is to go out and experience new things and think about things and try things. Never be afraid to try things. Alright. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with how up here is looking. Right up into the shadow area. think it's all looking very nice. Let's take a look at this highlight now before I move on. Gonna have to pull this out a little bit to match up with the amount that I pulled a little further up. Oh, that was too much. Okay, backing up. Backing up. I think here is workable. Kinda need to straighten things out and make things a little bit better. Idea is solid, just needs to be better. That happens a lot. Well, that's kind of the purpose of sketching and trying things. Like, even if I'm not literally sketching here, I do kind of treat it the same way as I would a sketch. If I try the thing, I keep it quick. And if it seems like I'm moving in the right direction, I'll make it look nicer. Clean it up, make it pretty. That's kind of how I treat sketches and when I'm drawing too. Experiments. Always do science. Science is how you learn things. Science is not just a series of facts that you need to memorize. It's a method. It's a method where you observe your surroundings, make a hypothesis based on those surroundings, and then you test it. The testing is the important part. Test it to see if you're correct. Because there are a lot of ways that our senses deceive us. And we can prove it. Science is truly the art of skepticism. The art of skepticism and the method to prove what sounds correct. And failing that, to determine that it is wrong and you need to find something else to explain whatever phenomena you're seeing. I still remember in the Middle Ages when people thought that rotting meat spawned maggots, as opposed to maggots being attracted to rotting meat. One of the early great experiments. So all the guy did was he put some rotting meat in a jar, and 2 jars, had one covered and one uncovered. And only the uncovered one got maggots. So that proved pretty handily that, nope, rotting meat does not spawn maggots. Maggots come from the outside. So you have to do particular things to keep your house clean. As you can see that even as I continue working here, I don't always get it right the first time. In fact, I'd say most of the time I don't. There's been numerous times where I try something and then I notice immediately and just back up, hit that Control-Z. I'm just like, no. I think it's already happened twice today, actually. That's why you gotta test it. You gotta try it. See what happens. There's no science without testing. Alright, let's zoom out a bit. See how we're doing here. In terms of the parts I care about, I think that's pretty good, so I'm gonna go move on to another strand. Oh, this guy over here, this one. I remember working on that one extensively, so yeah, and I think it's actually looking pretty good. A couple of things I want to fix. But for the most part, quite good. I am pleased. Much better than I remember it looking, actually. Yeah, that's just another point where our perception lies to us. My memory said that it looked much worse than it did, and all I had to do was tweak one vertex, and suddenly everything's great. My brain was lying to me. My memory was lying to me. Now just take your brain's word for it. Go look. Your brain will understand. Alright, so now I can start getting the details of this one into place. Oh, that's exciting. This is one of the last big strands on the top. I still want to get the clump that goes over on the shoulder before I do any little strands or any of that stuff. Stretch. Arms cramping up a little bit, so I'm gonna stretch. But, yeah, like I was saying. This is one of the last few, so it's very exciting. All the progress is becoming very visible. And it's just all there. Wonderful. Okay. There was a spot I moved a little bit too much. Speaking of testing things. There was a test there, and I was maybe 50% correct. And now I'm just going to tweak it until I get the other 50%. Then everything will be great. This strand is interesting because it has this uncut loop on it. Because I didn't think it was going to be that important to cut, and I don't know if I was right or not. But I've made it work regardless. But it'll be filed in the back of my head later. This strand is being a bit tricky, though. It doesn't quite know where it wants to hang out. I would like to kind of get the area right in the middle first. This loop in particular seems like it's going to be one of the harder areas, so I'm wanting to kind of dig into that before I do too much else. Just trying to imitate the shape that I saw. Ooh, nope, no. No. No good. That was not a correct hypothesis. Not at all. Alright. So the next area that was bothering me most was this shadow area that kind of goes across. It's this little guy. He was not in the right place, so let's try to get him in a good spot here. After the autosave lets me. There we go. Okay, top was good, middle was not. Bring the middle back down. That means that area is surprisingly flat. I feel like I should be less surprised when that happens. That seems to happen a lot with this particular art. Or I expect everything on the hair to just be super round and super fluffy, and that's just not how it is. Not how it is. Actually, I want to take a look at the vertices here. Let me see. How should they be rotating here? Okay, I think I have a good idea. Sometimes it's nice to look at the triangles themselves in motion to kind of pick out where things are going awry. And now I think I have a better idea. It's like I was mostly focused over here, but now that I feel like I have a lot of that looking mostly good, there's still some things I kind of want to adjust. I'm trying to figure out where this side connects. And I think once I have the top and the bottom connected properly, I will be able to have a good idea of where everything in the middle goes. Top and the bottom are the clear anchor points here, the points where they have clear connection points with other parts. And it's considerably less arbitrary. And I won't have to guess as hard to figure out where those connect. Because once they're in the right place, it'll just look right relative to the various shadows and highlights on the other layers. Versus some of these parts in the middle, it's more about having it look right relative to the top and the bottom of the layer that they're part of. Well, that's what I'm focusing on right now. And to get those anchors. It'll tell me where to go. Be a nice guiding light. Okay. That's looking pretty good now. Once again, a few things I still need to adjust. But looking pretty good overall, I think. Largely gotten in there. Okay, let's come back over here. Just mixing things up a bit to keep my eyes engaged. They don't start getting lazy on me. I don't want them to get lazy and just let my brain take over and say, yes, that is fine. That is totally fine. Look how fine that is. Because my brain likes to simplify my life. Likes to simplify the way things look. And that's great when you're trying to, I don't know, identify stuff. Tell if you need to go left or right. Understand your current location. All that good stuff. Just basic day-to-day stuff, but when you're trying to draw, nah, you need all the details. You can't let your brain get lazy. You need to know the exact thickness of this line. The exact angle on that flower. I don't know all the things. I can't just go, yep, that sure is a flower. I mean, that's what your brain wants to do in 90% of scenarios. Just knowing that it's a flower when you just take a look at it, or that this is hair, or whatever else is sufficient. You don't need to see every strand of hair, or see all the small contours and shadows on a flower. They're not that important. They're not that important until you sit down and draw. That's why when you ask, like, a 4-year-old to draw something, it tends to be symbols of whatever that is. Like the flower that's in kind of a daisy shape with 4 or 5 petals and a stem with a single leaf coming out. Or the stick figure with a round head, a stick body with arms and legs coming off of it. Only sometimes with hands or feet. Depends on who you have draw them. 'Cause that's what your brain sees. That's how your brain sees the world. Highly, highly simplified. Easy to understand. Easy to make decisions with. That is why the first step of becoming an artist is learning how to really look at what you actually see and how to understand it. Your brain tricks you. Your senses can't be fully trusted until you know how to properly harness the energy from them. And really dig down and trick your brain into actually looking at what it's seeing. Instead of just stopping at, yep, it's a flower. Time to move on. Man, I'm actually surprised at how much a lot of this stuff got shifted downward. Guess that's what happens when I use the brush. I think that's the third time I've said that today, but man, am I feeling that. It's like, just, yep, this is what happens when you use the brush. Everything shifts in a direction, and I gotta go back and fix it. So all the textures and the detailed art here are just so needy. It's like, oh, this pink highlight is like 10 pixels off. You're just gonna see it squirm until you fix it. Needy little pixels. It's alright, I'll give them what they need. Everything they need. I'd ask them what they want, but I'm not sure if I care about their opinion. Just gonna put them where they need to be. Everything will work out. Okay. I think we're looking pretty good. Let's see here. Let's look very closely. Yeah, I still see some bulging around here. I don't much care for that, so let's try to get this dot in a better spot. Yeah, that's a little bit better, but still not quite there. I can do better than that. Raise this very, very slightly, and this very slightly. No, the raising of that one actually made it worse. Okay. What about over there? Did that help? What is it that I'm seeing here? So I'm looking right here, and I can kind of see it squirming. It's not that bad. That might be the kind where I don't even see it when I zoom out. So let's get some other areas first, and then I'll check it. But there are a couple of other areas that are a little bit more wrong. One of which I just moved. I'm trying to be very gentle with the movements here. So I'm kind of approaching where everything is mostly correct. That means the things that are not yet correct are just very, very tiny mistakes. It's entirely possible that, strictly speaking, I don't even really have to worry about it, but... Alright, let's take a look zoomed out. Gotta do some intense staring here. Most intense staring I've ever done. Yeah, there's still a little bit of a lump right there. I definitely want to fix that. That's gonna be something that'll bother me. Just a tiny lump, but I don't want any lumps. That any better? I don't know. This right here still seems wrong. No, not quite. Or I need to just kind of stare at it and think about it. Okay, no, that should be good. Let's take a look here. Kind of feels like something's squirming there. But... No, I think this is right. Okay, one more. One more, then I can start going down the strands and turn the claw back on. Get all those over-the-shoulder strands right. Oh, this actually is already looking pretty good. I guess there's just not a lot to this layer, and I just finished most of it already. Alright, it looks like the only thing left is just this little part sticking out there. Nice. I was expecting to have to work a little harder. But I think for the most part I can just kind of tuck them in and... Yeah, the rest is just going to be for when I do stuff further down. I like that last little piece peeking out there. Let's do some science. Let's see if it looks better with nothing peeking. Just totally behind this strand. 100%. Okay. No, I like it better like that, but I want to do it better. Let me see. Okay, yep, I undid it all. So now I can go back in. And I think I want to keep everything else roughly where it is, because I think that was the only real problem. It's just here. Very, very carefully bring that in there and try not to affect anything else. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Alright. Well, that's that. There's all the main stuff. Autosave is here to celebrate with me. So I'll go ahead and start turning on these layers too. Okay. So now I have to decide which parts do I want to do next. I think before anything, I should actually do the ears. Look at the ears in place here. Okay. I don't think we should see that ear. I think it was kind of inevitable that this one not be exactly symmetrical with the left side. Does that look okay as it turns? I think so. I think it does. I'm not an ear expert. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that the strand here doesn't cover up quite as well as the strand on this side did for this ear. But I think I can get away with making this strand a little bit thicker. I think I'm going to try that. Where are you? That one? Okay. I'm losing track of my layer here. Just wanted to be very, very gentle here. I worked pretty hard getting at least the top part looking a little bit more correct. And having all the highlights and everything line up. I definitely don't want it to be too thick. But I want to see if I can get it to cover that ear a little bit better. Yeah, that is a little bit better. Okay, let's straighten that out. Make it nice. Make it clean. Just fix all the angles right through here. And then I guess I'll just keep working on this strand all the way down. Like I was gonna work a little bit more on the over-the-shoulder hair, but my brain has decided it's gonna do this right now, so I guess this is what we're doing. Fortunately, there's not too much to clean up here. It's pretty straightforward. This isn't like the last time where it kind of took forever. Here, there's just less going on. And I didn't do as many pull as many shenanigans this time. Let's get the roundness right here. This is a little bit too flat. I mean, this bang in general is a little bit flat. But there are limits to flatness. Okay, I think that should help a little bit. A couple of lumps that I want to work out, but yeah, that's much better. I actually don't think this looks too bad. Kind of want to floof out things through here a little bit more, but for the most part, I think it looks pretty good. I'm not going to have to, like, spend a day just panicking and wondering how the heck those tiny strands work. Honestly, it's kind of a relief. So I'll just be gently adjusting the vertices here, seeing what happens. And then I kind of want to look at what is leaving me not quite satisfied on these strands here. Because, I mean, it does seem like they're mostly good. So I really want to try to understand what are those little details that just are not quite working for me. At least on this lower part, I just thought it was getting a little bit skinny in the light area. And I think I want to make the dark area a little bit rounder. And I think once I get that, it should look fine. Ah, sneeze coming. Well, there was a sneeze coming, but apparently my nose changed its mind. So now I'm just stuck with that weird feeling that you get when your brain thought you were supposed to sneeze, but you didn't actually sneeze. And everything just feels weird in your sinuses. Deeply unfortunate. Shouldn't stop me from being able to finish this, though. Yeah, this looks really flat. And what I did didn't actually help. Let's put it back. Yeah. Okay, so that's definitely my complaint. Where it doesn't look 3D, it just looks like a flat piece of paper doing a quick turn. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense for why I wouldn't like that. Let's floof it out a bit, make it rounder. So hopefully it looks a little bit less cardboardy. Okay, and in that case, I think the area that I want to adjust is actually going to be near the top, as opposed to in the middle. Just floof things out here. And do some gentle adjustments down there. Try to get a little bit more shadow to show. Yeah. Okay, once I clean the rest of that up, that should look pretty good, actually. Just need to clean it up a little. Okay, that is a little bit better. Just want to make an adjustment on the tip. There we go. There we go. Okay, yeah, I think that's a lot better. Okay, now how about this strand? I think that strand, if I stretch it out a little bit and make it a little bit thinner at the base, I think that'll solve a lot of my issues. Just a little bit out here. And then push this in just a little bit. Make it look like it's going further back, as opposed to just getting smaller. Yeah, I think the idea is solid. Just gotta get the details right now. Just trying to make some stuff around here a little bit thinner. So it looks like it's going back. Okay, and then I want to make the top part here a little bit less flat. It needs to be round. Everything must be round. Okay. How is that? Ooh, very close. Very, very close. I am almost satisfied. Just made it a little bit too thin there, I think. Okay, and the middle part is a little bit too far down. Okay, I can clearly see the issues. And as long as I can see them, I can fix them. As long as I know what's going on, I can do something about it. Okay, I think that should be pretty good. Let's zoom out and take a look. And just think, all that started with me just wanting to put the ears on. Yeah. Looks very nice. Alright. So that's a lot of... yeah, most of the main hair there. I've at least got the part looking really good. I mean, look at this down the middle here. Very nice. Very nice. I worry that it's a bit too far the right in a couple of areas. Okay, I lied. Maybe it's a little bit less nice. Okay, push this just a little bit this way. And then pull this one a little bit this way to compensate. Might take me some time next time to really adjust this correctly, but at least compared with how I did it here, this side was looking a little bit weaker. That's a bit unfortunate, but it's okay. I still think things are looking really good. I was just a little bit off. Not even that far off. Everything just kind of needs to move to the right very, very slightly. Just didn't line something up quite right. I'm not quite sure where I didn't line it up right, but yes, it was moving a little bit too far to the side. Okay, let me start getting those areas in. Get the big picture done today, so this way I can work on the details again tomorrow. Well, I'm glad that I caught the error before I got too much further. It doesn't look like it'll be that difficult to fix. No, not down. Just right. Okay, or left. Yes, left. Okay, even that looks like it got most of what was bothering me. I will have to iron out some details, but for the most part, looks like it's in a good place. Alright, and I think that's where I will end things for today. So, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.